In week 12, you already saw a sample of an MLA formatted research paper, but we're going to take a look at another example today. And in this video, we're going to specifically focus on just the general headline formatting as well as the introduction. In subsequent videos, we'll talk about some of the body paragraphs. So you'll just notice that you can find this example of an MLA research paper in your Rules for Writers textbook. It's on about page 464 is where the discussion of MLA starts. And I want to just highlight some of the things that the student sample paper is doing. So again, just note your heading. You always begin with your own name, followed by your professor's name, followed by the class, and then followed by the due date of the assignment. Your last name and the page number of every page will appear in the top right-hand corner. You can set that up by accessing the headings inside a Word document. There are also many templates that exist inside both Word and Google Docs that will set up the MLA format headline for you. The title should be centered, and here we have the title, What's for Dinner? Personal Choice versus Public Health. And then we move into our introduction. Right, and here we go. We have, should the government enact laws to regulate healthy eating choices? Many Americans would answer an emphatic no, arguing that what and how much we eat should be left to individual choice rather than unreasonable laws. Others might argue that it would be unreasonable for the government to not enact legislation, given the rise of chronic diseases that result from harmful diets. In this debate, both the definition of reasonable regulations and the role of government to legislate food choices are at stake. In the name of public health and safety, state governments have the responsibility to shape health policies and regulate healthy eating choices, especially since doing so offers potentially large social benefit for relatively small cost. There are a lot of things that this sample essay is doing well, and I want to just point to them. First, it begins with a hook. The hook is a question. Should the government enact laws to regulate healthy eating choices? I don't think it's the most engaging hook in the world, but it's effective enough that it grabs the reader in. From there, the writer establishes some background information by highlighting some of the different opinions or different positions on this issue. And then finally, she arrives at her thesis statement, which appears in the last line here. In the name of public health and safety, state governments have a responsibility to shape health policies to regulate healthy eating choices, especially since doing so offers potentially large social benefit for a relatively small cost. Now, I think this thesis statement is effective for a number of reasons. One, we get a very clear position that the writer has taken. She has made it clear that she believes that the state must enact laws regarding food safety. The reasoning she gives us is that it's a public health and safety issue. And finally, we understand from the third half of her thesis here, the two major points that she's going to speak to are the broad social benefit of enacting these laws and the fact that it's not going to cost very much money. So here we have an introduction that is well developed and focused, and an opening format that is correctly in MLA. In the videos that follow, we'll talk about the body paragraphs.